Hi, I'm Bernadeta. I'm English literature student in Universitas Bina Sarana Informatika. This is listening assignment. Part 1. This audio is about love. Eculaden house. Okay, so here's a joke. Man sitting on veranda with his wife is out of the blue. He says, I love you. His wife says, was that you or was that beer talking? The man says, that was me talking to the beer. Maybe you found that funny. I find it hysterical. What makes a joke funny is a question that has been beset. The human condition. Since we lost our tails and started walking upright. But can scientists tell us today why we laugh? Scott Williams is a cognitive neuroscientist, the author of the book The Science of When We Laugh and Why. And he joins us from member station KUAR in Little Rock, Arkansas. Thanks for being with us, Scott Williams. Scott Williams. Thank you very much for having me, Layden. Tell me a joke and let's break it down a little bit, would you? Williams. Sure, I should warn you that as a scientist, I am not trained very well to tell a joke, but I'll do my best. Later, alright, Williams. So a dog walked to telegraph office, and he says, I want to send a message. And the operator says, sure, what would you like to send? And the dog says, woof woof woof, woof woof woof, woof woof woof. And the operator pauses a second and goes, you know, that's only 9. You can send the 10 woof for free. And the dog replies, but that would make no sense. People never laugh when I tell the joke. Later, I'm giggling here. Williams. Thank you, I wouldn't hold it against you if you didn't. Later, alright, I am getting into the comedy sketch part here, but you're a neuroscientist. What makes funny? Williams. There is one part of the brain that would recognizing that's called anterior cingulate. It's not on the surface, it's a little below, and it's what we consider our conflict detector. Later. Williams. Anytime we're confused or overwhelmed, or just we have conflicting information, like in the form of a surprising punchline, this area gets very active. Later, why is conflict important in a joke? It's basically how we process things we don't understand. I mean, so much of our life is filled with conflict. and not just jokes. It meant people love the funeral, people love the tragic events. And it's because these are times when we just don't know how else to respond. I mean, humor is such broader than just a stand up routine. It's just how we look at this moment in life where things don't make sense later. So, laughter is copying, bonding, listening, anxiety, the sense of discovery, surprising all these things. Whims. It's it. And I think that's why it's so linked, linked with health benefits as well. Later, now, humor hasn't always been looked upon so positively. You write that Plato and Jesus weren't funny. Wins. No, I mean it's really a shame. Historical humor has not gotten a good rap. Someone actually counted the number of times that laughter occurred in the Old Testament. The total number is 29, and of those, only 2 are positive. In other words, only 2 are occasion of joy. Well, there's debate now whether Jesus loved not just in New Testament, but in his whole life. And of course, Plato, Hobbes, Nietzsche, these scholars all have a very negative views towards humor because they saw as it as something that weak minds did. It's not something it's not something that serious people do. Leighton, do you think men and women tell jokes differently? Whims, they do. It turns out that women laugh more than men, but they're much less successfully in the world of comedy. Or at least there are fewer professional female comedians, which is it's the same. And people have wondered why is this? Because it's certainly not that women have less of a sense of humor, and one evolutionary theory is that the men are raised and maybe even have an evolutionary benefit to being the funny people in relationships. Women make a woman laugh because it's a sign of genetic fitness. A man who can make his partner laugh is more likely to be intelligent and good caregiver. And that's also why women consistently rate sense of humor as number one desired trait in male. For men, sometimes it's closer to number three after intelligence and good looks. So, women maybe aren't given the benefits and the encouragement to be as funny as they could or should be. Later, you won't leave us with one last jokes. Whims. Oh my. Okay, I have had bad success with this in the par in the past, but I will give it a try. Two fish are swimming in the tank, and one looks to the other and he says, "Do you know how to drive this thing?" Later, Scott Wins is a cognitive neuroscientist and the author of Ha is the signs of when we laugh, and why he joined us for Little Rock, Arkansas. Thank you for being joining us, Wims. Thank you very much for having me. Thank you. Hi, I'm Bernadeta. I'm English literature student in Universitas Bina Sarana, Informatika. This is listening assignment. Part 2. This audio is about watching movie. Daughter. Dad, dad, dad. Father. Uh, what? What? Daughter. The movie is over. You slept through the best part. Father. I must have delayed during the last few minutes. Daughter. Right. You were gone for so long. You should have brought your pillow and blanket. So, what did you think about it? Father. Well, overall, I'm a little disappointed with the movie. I mean, the story was a little bizarre, you have to admit. I mean, really. How believable is a plot about a captain who navigates his spaceship to the galaxy and counter a race frog people? I mean, come on, Doctor. I thought it was fantastic. Uh, I mean, you have to admit that the special effects were awesome and the acting wasn't bad either. Father. Come on. What about the ship's communication officer? I mean, what did you think about him? Well, wasn't he a little weird to you? He was always talking to himself, and he had that funny hairdo. Daughter. Well, he was a little unusual. Yeah. But the ship's doctor was amazing. It was so cool when he brought the captain back to life during one of the battles. Father. That was pretty realistic. But then the rest of the movie just went from bad to worse, and the photography was so fake. Daughter. How do you know? You're snoring so loud the neighbor probably had to close their windows. It was that bad. Father. Well, let's go to bed. Thank you. Hi, I'm Bernadeta. I'm English literature student in Universitas Bina Sarana, Informatika. This is listening assignment. Part 3. This audio is about life. It was on the night of November that I'll be healthy of accomplishments on my 2 ills, with anxiety that almost mounted to agony. I collected the instruments of life around me that I might infuse a spark of being into the lifeless thing that lay at my feet. It was already 1 in the morning. The rain pattered dismally against the panes, and my candle was nearly burned out. when, by the glimmer of the half extinguished light, I saw the dull, yellow eye of the creature open. It breathed hard and convulsive motion agitated its limbs. How can I describe my emotion at catastrophe, or how delineate at words whom with such infinite pains and care I had endeavored to form? His limbs were in proportion, and I had selected his features as beautiful. Beautiful! Great God! His yellow skin scarcely covered the work of muscle and artery beneath. His hair was of a lustrous black and flowing. His teeth of a purely whiteness, but this luxuriance only formed a more horrid contrast with his watery eyes, that seemed almost of the same color as the dawn-white sockets, in which they were set his scribbled complexion and straight black lips. The different accidents of life are not so changeable as of the feelings of human nature. I had worked hard for nearly 2 years for the sole purpose of infusing life into a money-made body. For this, I must prive myself to rest and health. I had desired with an ardor that far exceeded moderation. But now that I had finished the beauty of the dream fantasy, and breathless horror and disgust filled my heart. Thank you.